Today is Pumpkin Fest. It is my last scheduled book signing of the year. I don't know if this will be actually my last. Might do some Christmas book signing events. But I'm loading up my car right now for Pumpkin Fest, and my neighbors are watching me as I talk to myself. I've never done Pumpkin Fest before, but everyone is acting like it's gonna be a big deal. So I've got all my stuff. I've got Halloween decorations, which you'll see me set up. I have to stop at the bank on the way to get more change because I'm all out of change. I've got candy because there will be trick-or-treaters. There's going to be pumpkins there. People are going to be carving pumpkins. There's going to be a concert. It's going to be a big deal. So today, I'm just taking you guys along for the ride. You get to see how I set up my booth, how the event goes, and at the end, I'll let you know how many books I sold and how much I spent and how much I made. So, let's do it. Okay, so this is the fourth time I've done an event at this location, and the first 3 times it was never an issue to bring my car in, but this event is so large, like I was saying, that there is a massive line just for the vendors to park their cars. And it is 10:11, the event starts at 11, and I'm slightly concerned. It normally takes me around an hour to set up. So we're gonna rush today, and I also have to go to the bathroom, but I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. It is so freakishly windy that I've had to take all of my signs down and just work with what I got. It's a few days later, and it's time to wrap up how the event went. So before I get into the breakdown of sales, I did just want to talk about how it went as a whole. So the event was amazing. It was a little rocky at the start, as you saw. I was running late, but not only was I running late to get to the event to set up, there was a massive line for vendors to set up. And there was one vendor that I wanted to talk about, just because, like, if you ever plan on being a vendor, don't be this person. To put it simply and to explain the situation, if you ever ask a volunteer at an event a question and they don't know the answer, the proper response is to say, okay, thank you, that's fine, I'll go find someone else. Do not be the person who reacts very angrily and starts swearing and screaming and everyone can hear you. That's not the proper response, because that's how one of the vendors reacted. And it was just not great. And if you see Yue's head pop up, that's because I'm holding her very squeaky ball. So yeah, it was a little chaotic to set up, and there was one vendor that was making a whole scene and acting very dramatic. Don't be that person. Just keep in mind that usually for events like that, all the staff are just volunteers and not everyone is trained equally, so not everyone will know where to park and where you need to set up and all of that. Anyways, moving on, it was a very windy day, so that meant that at some point my tent almost started to fly away. Luckily, I had a lot of customers at my tent, so I grabbed one leg and everyone else grabbed other legs and things at my table, so nothing went flying. But that also means that by the end of the day, my table was bare because as things were starting to annoy me, I was putting like my decorations away. I was taking them down until basically all that was left was my price sign and my books, because I was sick of dealing with fixing things every time there was a gust of wind. So let's talk about how many books I sold, how much money I made, all of that. So to track it all, I use the Square app. I use the Square app to track cash sales as well as credit card sales. And actually, if you want to learn more about how I do vendor fairs, how I find them, how I handle the sales, all of that and more is covered in Plan a Profitable Book Launch. Now that book obviously covers the marketing side of planning a book launch, but we did want to include that last chapter at the end in case you wanted to do a book signing as a book release event. So be sure to pre-order the book. It comes out next week, which is insane. So I had 17 customers, but between my 17 customers, I sold 11 copies of I Am Mercy, 4 copies of Meet Me at the Summit, 3 copies of She's Not Here, 2 copies of Essence, and 1 copy of Mr. Moon's Big Move. Now that is a total of 21 books, which makes for an awesome, fantastic day. Obviously, I Am Mercy was the best seller. Probably had to do with the fact that the event was a Halloween themed event, and you know, I Am Mercy is the best Halloween read because it involves witches and dark magic. Now for income, I made $305, which again is fantastic for one day. Now, if you're curious, this event was a part of a 4-event series, and for all 4 events, I paid $150. And if you break that down, that means that to have my table at that event, I had to pay $37.50. Which means at the end of the day, I had a profit of $267.50, which I like to think is pretty good. If you want to see more vlogs from when I do vendor fairs like this, let me know in the comments down below. And if you've done vendor fairs yourself and you've had some success, be sure to tell your story down below so we can all share our tips and tricks. I find vendor fairs are my best performing events. So if you have any favorite events that you attend as an author, be sure to share it so we can all learn a little bit. And if you have any tips and tricks for maybe beating the wind on a windy day, let me know, because turns out books can go flying in the wind. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe.